I don't socialize because I'm not really that social. I'm from where you stack them M's up and try not to get noticed. I don't I don't socialize because I'm not.
Well, you.
And then bam! She got hit by a big ass.
Well, I guess I have a pet owl now. That's pretty cool. What are you doing, buddy? You can fly now, you know.
Boy, what kind of cat you is? That's a regular cat like you. You a Hellcat. No SRT, all red. You going about kids stuff? You can't go over that, Kathy. Boy, what kind of cat you is? That's a regular cat like you. You a Hellcat. No SRT, all red. You going about kids stuff?
This
Fuck Iran, bitch, we did World War I, and we did World War II. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you.
I can't believe just like how unserious we are. Like as a country, what do you mean somebody made a Iran diss track?
Fuck Iran.
So apparently, if you make 15 an hour, you make 3 bags of potato chips an hour. But you can make 3 bags of Lay's with 1.5 potato.
98.9, that's also the comments in for retirement planning text line. When we get back, The View admits they made a mistake. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolina.
Jay ain't had no process. Only seen Jay do like the thing like that wasn't a process. I think it was like more like a little, like a better terms, a little ritual. You know, he always when he was working on his albums, he would wear the chain. Cuban with the Jesus piece, Jay rock that. No cut neither. When he finished the album. Yeah, he'll wear a big personal chain. That was Biggie chain.
wow.
Yeah, he would wear that.
And you never seen him pick up a pen or a paper?
Never.
You right?
No.
All right.
No. I picked that up from Jay. He made me not write. I used to write. I used to sit at the track, boy, I write. And one day he came and he was like, "What you doing?" And I was spitting a rhyme off the paper. And he took the paper. Balled it up. He was like, "Say what you just said." I said a couple bars. He was like, "You got that? All right, what else?" Came up with 2 bars. He's like, "Let me hear it." Said the 2 bars. He's like, "All right, start from the top, from the other one, all the way up to the end of the 2 bars you just wrote." And after that day, I never wrote again.
Oh, most translators just, we don't know. But this one,
All right, a lot of done. Guess you wonder where I've been. I'm so hungry right now. God damn. Oh. Oh. Check. I poured the drink up, now I'm on my way. Change my mood and lose control. I've had an awful fucking day. I love everything.
Senator, thank you very much for spending
Yeah,
the time to have this conversation.
Let's get another
So you come out for
hour.
regime change in Iran as distinct just from taking out the nuclear sites.
Gonna try to do another hour real quick and see if we can get this hair and these lashes done, and then it's game time until it's time to cook dinner.
And it's not a complicated question. Is America better off with a country that has a leader who hates us and wants to kill us, or to have a country with a leader who likes us and wants to be friends with us?
And definitely the latter is better.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so that's not a complicated statement. Look, I believe you look across the world when you have countries that have dictators that are viciously anti-America. Venezuela, Maduro hates us. Would we be better off with Maduro out of power? Absolutely. I want our enemies out of power, and I want our friends in power.
That I could not agree more. The question is, how do you get there?
Of course.
We've been trying to kill Maduro for quite some time. We have troops there.
I don't know that we've been trying to kill Maduro.
We have. And I think you know that. And
I don't know that.
Okay, well, that's a statement of fact we have. So
we do have massive sanctions. We tried to pressure him out of office.
yeah,
I'm not aware of that.
I'm just saying there's a lot of pressure coming from various parts of the U.S. government on that government, and it's still there.
Yeah.
Same, the country of our ancestors, Cuba, 1959, we've been working on that. That's over. So I think we both agree it's hard to do.
It absolutely is hard. And look, I think you're reasonable to ask, how do we produce that? And I think there's a distinction between what your objective is and the means to get it. There are all sorts of things I would say we would be better off. We'd be better off in China without Xi there. Should we invade China and topple Xi? Of course not.
Better off with international debt.
There are lots of things.
Totally.
But it's good to say, all right, what are our objectives?
Right.
And so with the Ayatollah in Iran, saying you're for regime change, I don't view as complicated. I mean, the guy literally leads mobs chanting death to America. So that's not good.
Definitely not good. But the reason I think it's important to get a little more detailed about how that might happen is because there's military action in progress, which we're supporting. And the president has said clearly, including last night, that he is focused on eliminating the capacity of the Iranian government to produce nuclear weapons. You are saying we need to use military force to effect regime change.
I have not said that.
Oh, I
have not said that once. I don't think we need to use military force to do regime change. I said I support it. I would like to see it happen. You asked me how should it happen? A popular uprising. What I've advocated for. All right, let's step back a second. You and I, we've known each other a long time. I would say we agree on about 80% of the things on Earth.
For sure.
And there are a lot of things, and we can get into the nitty-gritty of foreign policy as much as you want. There are a lot of things on which you and I agree, not just a little bit, but violently.
I totally agree. I was rooting for you in your last campaign, for sure.
Well, thank you. Look, you have been heroic on the border. You've been one of the clearest and best voices in the whole country on securing the border and on the absolute crisis we're facing. And in Texas, I see it and live it every day. In COVID, in fact, you may recall, in the middle of the COVID lockdown, I was out walking my dog when the whole world was shut down and we were living in lunatic times. And I called you and said, Tucker, your nightly monologues are the single best thing on television. Like I watch them like an injection of crack. Okay, I'm mixing my metaphor because you don't inject crack, but you get what I'm saying. No, I mean, you were standing up and speaking like, what the hell are we doing, in a way that we desperately, desperately needed. And so whether it's securing the border, whether it's the insanity of COVID lockdowns and vaccine mandates, whether it is the Second Amendment or the First Amendment, you and I agree on a ton of stuff. The 20% where we disagree, I do think is meaningful. And it's mostly in the foreign policy space. And what I would say, if you'll allow me to get a little theoretical, and then I'm happy to get specific.
Yeah.
For a long time, people have perceived two different poles of Republican foreign policy. There have been interventionists, and those have been people like John McCain and Lindsey Graham, George W. Bush, and there have been isolationists. And the most prominent of those have been Ron Paul and Rand Paul, and there are others. And people perceive those are the two choices. You got to be one or the other. I've always thought both were wrong. I don't agree with either one. the way I view my own foreign policy.
I'm with you, by the way, for whatever it's worth. I agree with you.
Okay, good.
I don't know who set up that binary, but there are lots of choices, actually.
I mean, people sort of naturally fall into, I think they want to classify people and they're like, okay, you're one or the other and you got to be all or nothing. And the interventionists, it seems, have never seen a country they didn't want to invade, and that doesn't make any sense to me. And the isolationists, I think, don't take the threats to America seriously. And I think that's naive and it doesn't work. And so my view, I consider myself a third point on the triangle. And what I describe that as is that I am a non-interventionist hawk, which sounds a little weird, but what do I mean by that? I mean the central touch point for U.S. foreign policy and for any question of military intervention should be the vital national security interest of the United States. How does this make America safer? How does this protect Americans? If it does, we should be strong. And actually, another way of conceiving what I'm saying, I'm speaking theoretically, but Reagan referred to it as peace through strength. And actually, I think Donald Trump's foreign policy is very much what I'm describing, a non-interventionist hawk, where he understands that, and I think this is historically true, the best way to avoid war is being strong. That weakness and isolationism, I think, encourages war. So going back to regime change, where you started in Iran.
So just to make, I don't think I disagree with anything you've said, so we may not be that far apart, really, because you said that the single criterion for making decisions about America's foreign policy is America's national interest.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Which is also America first. That's another way of putting that as
I
well.
guess the definition of that.
Yeah.
It's hardly breaking news that the US dollar has been gravely devalued by Washington money printing. You print money out of thin air and the currency becomes.
Welcome to more.
Thank you.
Let's go up.
Choose from hundreds of quality used cars.
Shipped to your location. You'll enjoy Rewards Plus perks, like saving up to $5,000 on your next car.
A trusted local brand offers peace of mind.
Welcome to more. Visit getmore@matthews.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lee Wilson. I'm an international dance artist. I have so many projects coming out this year.
Weaker. You can purchase less with the same amount. The entire system is backed by nothing but the government's word. What is that worth? People around the world beginning to ask. So one of the results of this is that a lot of people want to invest in crypto. Many don't know where to start. That's where iTrust Capital comes in. Their platform in just a few minutes. Click the link below or visit itrustcapital.com to start today.
The question is, are we watching that now?
So I think we are. And from what you've said publicly, I think on Iran in particular, you and I disagree. And all right, let me contrast it when Obama was president. When Obama was president, you remember he talked about wanting to have military action against Syria.
He did.
And at the time, I tried to keep an open mind to it. I said, okay, let me listen to the commander-in-chief, describe to me how this is in America's interest and what your plan is. And Bashar Assad was a bad guy. He was killing his own citizens, and he had chemical weapons that were very dangerous. I could conceive of a commander-in-chief laying out a plan for, okay, we're going to go in and say, grab the chemical weapons and leave. Like, I could see that if there was a real threat to America and there was a plan to prevent that, I could see supporting that. So I wanted to hear what he had to say. And I listened both in classified briefings and public questioning. And number one, their public defense of it was incoherent. So John Kerry said, we're going to engage in an unbelievably small strike. I think that's a quote. I'm like, okay, and to do what? At the time, there were 9 major rebel Islamic groups in Syria. I'm like, okay, I agree, Bashar Assad's a bad guy. You topple him. And one of the 9 other groups takes over. 7 of them were affiliated with radical Islamic terrorism. You had Al-Qaeda and Al-Nusra. I'm like, wait, how is it better to have lunatics who hate us in charge? Assad's a bad guy, but I don't want worse guys in charge. Obama administration couldn't give an answer to that. And ultimately, when you press them, John Kerry in particular, I pressed, and he would say, well, we need to defend international norms. what the hell's an international norm? I don't know what it is, but I'm not interested in putting U.S. servicemen and women in harm's way to defend one.
Amen.
So I opposed the Syria attack and opposed it vocally. And it was interesting. Rand and I agreed. Rand's a friend of mine, but we agreed with that position for different reasons. What I was asking is I think the question we should ask, how does this make America safer? The Obama administration couldn't give me an answer, so I opposed it. I think Iran is very different.
Let me ask what you think of how Syria wound up, because Bashar al-Assad now lives in Moscow.
Yeah.
He was taken out by our allies, and he's been replaced by a radical Islamist who was affiliated with ISIS. So is that a win or no?
Unclear. Look, Syria's a mess, so I've consistently opposed.
But we had a secular leader in a religious and ethnically diverse country. Now we have a religious extremist, Islamic religious extremist, who's overseeing the purge of Christians and Alawites. Is that better? That doesn't seem like a win.
One of the things you said is you said he was taken out by our allies. I don't think that's right. Israel didn't take Assad out. What happened, and I'll tell you.
What about Turkey?
Turkey didn't take him out. So it was interesting. I had a long.
How did Assad get kicked out?
That's,
yeah.
When Netanyahu was in D.C. a couple of months ago, he and I sat down for a couple of hours. He's a good friend of mine. And we talked actually about Syria. He made an interesting point that I've not heard anywhere else, in that he said he believes what toppled Assad was when Israel took out Nasrallah. Nasrallah was the head of Hezbollah. They took him out. And he made an interesting point. He said it's fascinating how a charismatic leader, and Bibi said, look, Nasrallah was a very effective terrorist leader. And when they took him out, that power base was supporting Assad. And that ultimately, in Bibi's analysis, removed the support from Assad and toppled him. But they weren't trying to take out Assad. My view now, I don't know.
So you don't think that, and I don't, it is very confusing, and I don't know that anyone really knows all the details, but you don't think that Israel or Turkey or NATO ally Turkey played any role in toppling Assad?
I don't know. I don't know that they did. Look, my understanding of that, they clearly took out Nasrallah and Hezbollah and decimated Hezbollah, but Hezbollah was waging war on them. So decimating Hezbollah was very good for Israel and very good for America, too. I mean, Hezbollah hated us.
My career in music has definitely transformed, for sure. So what's Playlist? It's basically a website. You pay them, and they send your song to people who have got Spotify playlists. You upload it?
I would put Assad in the category of an unintended consequence, and whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I think time will tell.
For the United States.
Yeah, for the United States. I think time will tell the new leadership there. You're right to be concerned. Let me step back and let's talk regime change generally. I mentioned Syria. I also opposed the Iraq War. I think the Iraq War was a serious mistake. And we have a pattern, and going back to this binary of the interventionist and the isolationist. The interventionists advocate over and over again, there's a bad guy, there's a dictator who's doing bad things to his people. And they say, let's go topple him. And you have dictators in the Middle East who are killing radical Islamic terrorists. We come in and topple them. The radical Islamic terrorists take over and they start killing Americans. In my view, how the heck does that help us? Like, Saddam Hussein was a horrible human being. He murdered and tortured people. Unequivocally bad guy. But it got much worse after we toppled him. And you ended up having ISIS rise up. I mean, that was the cause of ISIS, was toppling Saddam Hussein. Same thing in Libya. You had Gaddafi, another horrible guy.
Mm-hmm. Gaddafi was a great
under
leader.
Obama, we toppled him. And you ended up having radical Islamic warlords taking over. And so
Gaddafi was a great leader.
and it's the question I asked in Syria. Okay, well, what's the plan? And how is this good or bad for the United States? And so I don't think with Iran, I view Iran as very different from Iraq.
But up to that point, you say we disagree. I don't hear really anything. I'm not quite sure what happened in Syria, but I don't know. So, right. But other than that, I don't hear anything I disagree with at all.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're in a complete agreement. I wonder, though, is there a successful regime change that the United States supported that you're aware of in the last 100 years?
Sure. Defeating the Soviet Union and the Soviet Union collapsing, winning the Cold War. That was the most consequential step for U.S. national security interests of our lifetimes.
Okay.
And
so you would classify that as a regime change that we affected?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And look, you and I are in my office. We're sitting next to a painting of Reagan in front of the Brandenburg Gate, and up top are the words "Tear down this wall" in German,
Mr. Gorbachev,
in the style of the graffiti.
Right.
And I think those are the most important words any leader has said in modern times. And if you look at how Reagan waged the Cold War, and Reagan is very much my model for how to. I actually think how Reagan took on the Soviet Union is exactly how we should take on China. Now, starting from the point, look, Reagan was not an interventionist. In 8 years, the biggest country Reagan ever invaded was Grenada. He was very reluctant to use U.S. military force.
He didn't respond after the 83 barracks bombing.
You're right. He made the judgment that the risk exceeded the benefits. And that's a very rational decision to make. And it's reflected, Trump has made those same decisions where he is willing to use military force, but he very much asks, okay, is this good or bad for America? Does this endanger U.S. servicemen and women or not? And one of the points about the Cold War, look, nobody in their right mind wanted a shooting war between America and the Soviet Union. The two biggest nuclear powers on Earth firing bullets at each other is really unhealthy for human beings. Same thing is true with China. Nobody with any sense says, hey, let's go to war with China. That's really dumb, and a whole lot of people could die. But the Cold War showed we've got lots of tools short of sending the Marines to fight against a regime. And one of the most important tools is the bully pulpit. And so when I say I support regime change, I actually think just simply laying out what the Ayatollah does. And so I spend a lot of time, I speak to Iranian dissident groups. I speak out against human rights abuses. I think shining a light on the depravity of leaders is a really powerful tool that America has.
Should we
Except our own leaders.
Our activity to that?
It depends. Again,
because the U.S. government pays opposition groups, militarized opposition groups in Iran to overthrow the government. We've done it in a lot of different places, as you know. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's very different from what you're describing. You're saying we're making a moral case, as we did for 7 years with the Soviets. Our system works, yours doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think we made a credible case for that, and we beat them over 70 years economically.
And that was a huge part of it.
Right. I think everyone would agree that was the main part of it. We didn't beat them in Vietnam. North Korea.
The main part of it, but it was tied to a military buildup. So I think it was two things. It was one, the clarity. So Reagan came in and he described the Soviet Union as an evil empire.
Right.
And all of the intelligentsia in DC, all the Democrats, all the media, they're like, what a horrible thing to say. You can't say that. Reagan went to the United Kingdom and he said, Marxism, Leninism will end up on the ash heap of history. People were horrified. They asked him, all right, what's your strategy in the Cold War? He said, very simple. We win, they lose. And that was all viewed as sort of a Philistine simplicity. And I think it was exactly right. And laying that out, speaking, do you know the backstory behind the Berlin Wall speech?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
You probably know Peter Robinson, who was
course.
a speechwriter.
Yes.
So 3 times the State Department deleted those words from that speech. And 3 times Reagan wrote it back. And the State Department argued, they said, Mr. President, you can't say this. This is too bellicose. This is too provocative. And my favorite, they said, this is too unrealistic. The Berlin Wall will stand till the end of time. And Reagan said, look, this is the whole point of the speech.
This is an AI plugin that will get you Spotify Ready Masters in just 3 easy steps. Step 1, have one of your mastering plugins listen to your track. Step 2, choose your mastering style and adjust anything to taste. Step 3, dial in your loudness. I'm telling you, you'll get.
And less than 3 years after Reagan gave that speech, the Berlin Wall was torn to the ground. And it wasn't knocked down by American Army tank.
The Berlin Wall came down in 87 or 88. What year was the Berlin Wall taken down?
The Berlin Wall fell on November 9th, 1989.
1989. Okay, so that's the first news story I remember in my life, yeah. That's the first news story I ever remember in my life. So in '89, I was 8 years old. And like that shit was such a fucking big deal. It was all over the news for like a week. Like everybody talked about the Berlin Wall is down. The Berlin Wall is down. That's like the first news story I remember. Berlin Wall. And then like I'm trying to think like, can I remember anything else after that? But like the next news story I really, really fucking remember is I was set before that. I don't know. The next one I can remember is Clinton getting his dick sucked, yo. Clinton getting his dick sucked. The Monica Lewinsky trial. And I was in high school with that shit. And that's the Clinton scandal is what made me start paying attention to the news, yo. Like, I thought the presidents are the most moral, virtuous, honorable human beings. Nah, nigga, they just people in a suit. They got a job. These niggas ain't no different than nobody else. Well, they are different. They're fucking megalomaniacs and psychopaths, most of them. I guess I should have did that. I really didn't realize how deep this Jewish thing goes, though, man. I really didn't. I ain't even lying, bro. Is this my last rabbit hole? Did Kanye really? Man, I haven't looked at everything from, like I say, all the other roundtable groups to goddamn the moon is hollow, lizard people, the earth is flat. I thought I done heard everything. And I've heard Jews and everything, but I'm like, nigga, these motherfuckers are like one of the smallest ethno-religious groups. Like, there's not even a lot of, no, these motherfuckers run everything. Them motherfuckers in the Catholic Church, God almighty. I see why the church hates science. These motherfuckers hate science. Well, the more you know. The more you know.
Around the world. Figure this out. Most people don't digest this. They're the largest single stockholder in the world. They own the most property in the world that pays you no taxes. Every school, every Catholic church. I mean, there's an organization a lot deeper than them called the Solidarity.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, nobody is.
Solidarity.
It's about 2,000-year-old club.
It's a club.
It's a club. And it's in the catacombs of the Vatican. You know, the Vatican's a city within itself.
I know, I used
Just
to live
like-
right next to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you know.
I mean, I don't know
Well,
like that.
most people don't know what I'm telling you.
So they meet down there, you're saying?
There's a church where they are. They only meet there, period.
Right. Okay.
They're very high-level profile people throughout the world. You can't invite it to be in it. Who's running the world? I think they are. Wow. When you think of what they control and what they do, it's amazing.
Does the Vatican run?
Like I said, between the Zionists and the crazy ass motherfucking Catholics, holy wars, man, religious wars. Club Solidarity. I ain't never heard of that shit, you know. I ain't never heard of that shit. I heard of the Club of Rome and the Knights Templars, the Knights of Malta, but the Solidarity? Well, what the fuck? Is deep, and they conduct their secret meetings underneath the Vatican in the catacombs. Hold on, one more time.
Around the world. Figure this out. Most people don't digest this. They're the largest single stockholder in the world. They own the most property in the world that pays you no taxes. Every school, every Catholic church. I mean, there's an organization a lot deeper than them called the Solidarity.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, nobody is.
Solidarity.
It's about 2,000-year-old club.
It's a club.
It's a club. And it's in the catacombs of the Vatican. You know, the Vatican's a city within itself.
I know, I used
Just
to live
like-
right next to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you know.
I mean, I don't know
Well,
like that.
most people don't know what I'm telling you.
So they meet down there, you're saying?
There's a church where they are. They only meet there, period.
Right. Okay.
They're very high-level profile people throughout the world. You can't invite it to be in it. Who's running the world?
I want to say, man, a lot of people talking about Elon and Jeff Bezos. The motherfuckers ain't got no real pull like that. It'd be these motherfuckers in cahoots with the religious structure. Because you can really galvanize the mind through religion. Holy books and scriptures. We can convince a person to do damn near anything, man. You'll convince a person to do anything. Because God said so. God has ordained it. It's been prophesied. Because the prophet said so. Because he shall return, and for all these other fucking reasons. But the prophecy says the black nigga. How come we can go to war for this shit, but we can help genocide the holy wars, but like we can't use God as a defense in court. So we help Israel, aka the Jewish state, aka the Jews. Because why? Because the Bible said that they should have their own nation state. The Bible. Okay, so we're using the Bible in that context. So now, if I go kill a motherfucker because he a pedophile and a woman beater, if I kill this motherfucker because God told me to, I heard God talk to me in my spirit, and I ain't even know this motherfucker. This dude was a stranger to me, and somehow I just picked this specific house and this specific person, and come to find out, this dude is like the worst local pedophile. And I kill him, and I say, well, I had a vision from God that told me to do it. That shit ain't gonna hold up in court. That shit not gonna hold up in court. I'm going to jail for murder. I'm gonna go to jail for murder. But if we want to help Israel in their holy war, oh, that's fine. That is justifiable. Because you can't pick on the Jews or you're anti-Semite. You know what? Let them motherfuckers stand up for themselves, man. They gonna call me crazy if I say I was given direct instructions, bro. Direct instructions from the Creator himself, the all-knowing, all-powerful Creator of the cosmos, the grand consciousness, the one who is He. Oh, that motherfucker told me that. Then how did I know this dude was a pedophile? I ain't know this motherfucker. I ain't never seen this man a day in my life or ever heard his name spoke. Not one time in my life. I was compelled by the Spirit and the Holy Ghost to alleviate this man of his life due to his transgressions. You telling me I commit murder? No, man. The lady burnt her 2 kids in the oven, put her 2 toddlers in the oven, and put that bitch on bake. Tried to kill them motherfuckers. Now she told this judge that she loved her children with all her heart, but unfortunately, Satan had allowed demons to enter her children, and these demons told her that they're going to plot and plan for the entire life of these children until they're adults, and they're going to help usher in the Antichrist. And because her children were possessed with these unmovable demons. She had to destroy their bodies so that the demons no longer had a vessel to inhabit, right? And that's what she told the courts. Bitch, you're going to jail. Don't send her to jail. Send this bitch to the crazy house. This bitch is crazy. She said, what now? Both of her kids? They were do what now? To usher in the Antichrist. Put 302 this bitch. $37 years to life, motherfucker. God always testing the motherfucker. That motherfucker always trying to test somebody. Hey man, back in the day, man, God would tell everybody, hey, go over there and kill these motherfuckers. The cattle too, nigga. The cattle too, bitch. Kill their cows too. Raise everything. I don't want nothing living. The motherfuckers go, follow out the exact orders. Me and my man was talking about Genesis and just how many weird stories there are in Genesis. So the Pharaoh had the slaves, right? He didn't want to let them go. Don't y'all know the Pharaoh did change his mind? He was like, you know what? I am gonna let y'all. I think I'm gonna let y'all go. But then the story says that God hardened the heart of Pharaoh and made him change his mind back. Like, nigga, what is you doing? He just was cool with everybody leaving. Now you're gonna make him. You're gonna harden his heart. Yo, God was doing some. God just like, he like testing motherfuckers, man. Playing around with shit. What the fuck would you do that for? If of his own free will in the core, he's just like, yeah, you know what? If y'all want to leave that bag, get the fuck out of my country. And God was like, Pharaoh, that's not what you want to do. Pharaoh's like, you know what? I changed my mind again. The Bible. God plans. You got Pharaoh and all his goddamn horsemen all fucked up for no reason. For no reason. Yo, Old Testament God is funny as shit, yo. This nigga funny as hell. He just be doing some wild shit. Yo, hey, you know what I want you to do real quick? I need you to sacrifice your son to me. So I really know you down for me, bro. Yo, young boy, come here. I need you to take a walk with me. You know, how your day been? Yeah? So, I've been talking with God a lot lately. You know, he cool and everything. Now, you had lunch already? You good? You full? Okay. No. You know the altar rock? That altar rock right there? I need you to go lay down on that. Shing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't do it, nigga. I was just testing you. are just testing you to see if you was actually gonna do that shit. And you was about to kill your own son too. You great, you wild for that, but don't do it. You good. You good, don't do it. What's going on, Dad? Nothing. Just trying to get in good with the Lord, you know what I'm saying? I can have more kids, nigga. Your mama might be pregnant now. Let us make man in our image after our likeness. Who the fuck is y'all? Who is this group of people you talking about? Us and our who the fuck are you? In some kind of organization? Y'all the non-profit or what? The non-profits. This motherfucker talking about let us make man in our image. Who is us and our? Who was they with when God was making shit? This nigga had company. They is the club solidarity. Yo, fucking club, nigga. Yo. I'm talking about we and us. Our. That sound plural to me, bro. And then this nigga had to walk. This nigga had to walk to Sodom and Gomorrah. Why are you walking, nigga? Can't you like teleport? You can't teleport yourself there? Why not? This nigga always got like some slow ass mean to travel. Oh. Bro, why you travel so slow? If I was God, I'd just be popping up on nigga. Bah. He did pop up on Moses. And yo, Moses ain't believe this nigga. Wait a minute. Now I'm thinking about it. Everybody's like, nobody ever seen the face of God, but Moses, that nigga, he talked. Yo, a lot of people seen God's face because damn, this nigga just used to walk around and talk to people. It's Johnny. Yeah. Nah, Old Testament guy used to be out there in the streets. That nigga was out there in the trenches, yo. Like really out there doing shit. Now, this motherfucker done got lazy. You be like, yo, God. You be like, yo, holla at Jesus, and Jesus will holla at me if it's important. I need to talk to you directly. Look, bro. Holla at Jesus. If it's important, Jesus will holla at me. Yo, God be on some bullshit lately, man. This nigga acting high and mighty. Ever since he got his young boy up there with him, you know what I'm saying? And he got like he too busy to even talk to now. He talking about pray to Christ. That nigga got holes in his hand. He might drop the information. You mean holy hands? I tried to get somebody to explain the land of refugees. That shit just come up short, man. Okay. So, Adam and Eve, right? Okay, Adam and Eve. They had two boys, right? Cain and Abel. Okay. Adam and Eve, they got two boys, Cain and Abel. One of these motherfuckers killed the other one. God damn it. Y'all boys can't act right from the beginning. And then he get banished to where? Where did the murderer get banished to? The wilderness? The desert? The endless forest? This motherfucker got banished to the land of the refugees. Who the fuck are all these refugees? And where they come from? And how they already got their own land? And what these niggas went in the garden? You kick these motherfuckers out the garden because it was easy street. And you want them to go see what the taste of the real world is like without your help and shit. And so the land of the refugees, if these motherfuckers weren't ever in the garden, they just always been living a rough, tough life. Man, who telling these fucking stories? Where these stories come from, honestly? Because some of the plots and characters don't be adding up. The first hit piece of girl. Oh God. Fucking OG hippies. I think it shows a way for the writers of the Bible to account for the rest of the world. But how these people get there? Oh, them was just they were refugees. From where? Motherfucking refugees from where? These pencils are really good, or I really got the munchies right now. I think it's a combination of both. Add a little highlights. Add a little highlight. I'm trying so hard to stop eating these pretzels, but they're so delicious. Oh. They were the unhoused people. The land of Nod, because everybody over there nodding off. The land of Nod. All right. Good. Last time. Mm. Wow. Okay. Ah, shit. I just basically wiped that shit back up.
Awesome. Yeah, right? So my hustle was I would charge people $20 a commissary for them to touch my chin while they were in the shower. That's also how I got the nickname Titty Chin.
Wow. Well, that thing is probably a goiter, which is a
Titty chin. Titty chin chin chin. Chinny chinny bang bang.
I'm running.
running for my life. Cause we're running out of time. When you see me, I'm running for my life. Cause we're running out of time. When you see me, you can't keep waiting, procrastinations, you need some patience, but show some action, hesitations, cause send you backwards, your reputation can get you captured, rewrite the chapter, cause you're the master, we hype the masses, avoid disasters, we keep it moving, and keep it pushing, we keep it grooving, the people looking, we introduce them to the movement, I put in work, yeah, I show and prove it, because I'm doing what they said I couldn't, and I keep on winning when they said I wouldn't. I got ambition running in my veins, y'all just run in place, refuse to change. I will always grow, I'll never stay the same. I got ambition running in my veins, y'all just run in place, refuse to change. I will always grow, I'll never stay the same. I'm running for my life. Cause we're running out of time. When you see me, I'm running for my.
What happened? It says my internet is all fucked up. It says you want to use your Wi-Fi, your cellular, the Wi-Fi, motherfucker. What do you think? Is my stream about to buffer? Fuck. Oh my damn. All right, we did reach our stopping point. So, yeah, today was to finish the daughter's hair, and at least get some highlights on mom's glasses. And so, boom. Oh, we're definitely looking good on the braids. And we had to get all the way to this part. And so, yeah, one more detail layer. I say glasses, we're working on her glasses and mom's earring in the next session. Then we'll be ready to just touch up the skin tones. I think the hand is going to be the thing I focus on the most next with the skin tones. A little bit around her eye, but mom eye looks pretty good. Yeah, overall, I think this is coming out splendidly. Looking good, looking good. All right, let me get my ass up out of here. There we go. All right, guys. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And like I keep saying, there's not a lot more to go. Like once this is the bulk of it now. That's all the heavy lifting is done. Now we can just go in there and tighten up here and there, add a little more contrast in some areas. Like I say, mostly in this jacket. This is gonna be a wrap for this one, bro. That's why I like doing the Whisper series too. They don't ever really take a long time. They don't take months and months and months to get these things done. I'm really feeling that jacket. Like, I really like that part. All right, I'm just about to go veg out for a little while. Oh shit! I need to set this camera up. I keep forgetting to do that. So I got a new security camera for the front porch because my old one just conked out on me and stopped working. I don't know why, but that shit will not come back on. So I actually got the same company, but the next version up. This is the Cam V4. The ones I have now is the Cam V3s. So this is a upgrade from the last hardware. So I'm gonna just see if I can get this online real quick. Then hopefully this one will last. Well, not gonna lie, these cameras are like $30, and I've had 3 of them outside for 4 years. And we have some pretty brutal winters up here. So I don't know. For $30 for 4 years, I still wish they would have lasted maybe 5 or 6 years a piece. But right now, if I have issues with this one anytime soon, I'll definitely look into a different brand. Everybody loves the Ring doorbell and all that shit, but I'd rather have something that I can control a little bit more than that. Anyway, I'm rambling now. We're gonna go play, I guess, Harry Potter. I started playing. No, I might jump on The Division, because I was getting kind of deep into The Division. Just started back playing that. So we're gonna play games for a couple hours. I'll probably try to cook dinner around 5 o'clock. For meal prep this week, we're gonna do stewed chicken and rice. I was gonna put green beans on the side, but I actually found some okra. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna put okra in the chicken stew or on the side, but that's gonna be our green. And then I'm gonna do a clam chowder, and I'll do some tuna steaks and salad. Will be our meals for this week. The tuna steaks take 2 minutes to fucking cook, and the goddamn chicken and clam chowder, those are just one pot meals by themselves, so it should be pretty easy. Yeah, guys, so appreciate you chilling in the studio for this second stream. We did get an hour of good painting in, and we got to our stopping point from the day. It is really starting to pop out from the canvas. It just looks so good, the hair and everything. So I'm really pleased with our progression for today. And like I said, I feel like I could just go be lazy and do nothing for a little while. So we'll catch you in the next. I hope you have a good evening. Peace. We're out of here.